Hello and welcome to What the Fort. Today we're here on Dartmoor near Widdicombe in the Moor. We're exploring the abandoned medieval hamlet of Hutholes, discovering the layout of the buildings, what they were used for and why they were eventually abandoned.
The settlement of Hutholes is located 600 metres west of Wind Tor, just south of Widdicombe in the Moor, on the eastern edge of Dartmoor. The site is in a south-facing coombe just above a spring that runs to the West Ribburn River.
The site is believed to date from the 13th and 14th centuries, a time that was much warmer and more habitable here on Dartmoor than it is today. There are numerous other abandoned hamlets and settlements from this time on the moor. The most famous of these is near Hound Tor, 5 miles north-east of here.
This is a plan of the buildings. They are set within a later wall surrounding an area of 0.4 hectares. This wall is likely to have been in the same location as the boundary wall from the time the buildings were in use. There are 6 buildings, 3 were longhouses and 3 were barns.
There was a detailed excavation and recording of this longhouse in the 1970s and again in 1994. The internal measurements are 11 metres by 7 metres and the walls are made of large granite blocks which measure from less than half a metre up to the largest slab at 2.2 metres long. The rooms are the main living room, the hall and the shippen or the cattle shed. There are around 340 pieces of medieval pottery found during the excavations, as well as worked stone objects, including pestles, rubbing stones, and whetstones for sharpening knives. This building was originally constructed as a 2-roomed house, but was later converted into a corn drying barn. The kiln and oven structures are still visible. Corn drying became more important towards the end of the site's occupation when the weather worsened. During the 14th century, many of these rural settlements on Dartmoor were abandoned and we find no more pottery here from the late medieval or early post-medieval periods. The climate changed extensively during this time, making Dartmoor a much wetter and colder place to be. Crops failed and people struggled to feed their animals and in turn their families, as well as there was a huge drop in numbers due to the Black Death at this period. So many of these sites were left to fall into ruin. These areas of Dartmoor are often thought of as bleak and inhospitable, but these remains and others like them show that people were successfully living off the land, and it was only when the plague and hardships struck that these sites were eventually left. Thanks for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hope to see you soon.